and I saw that police were at both ends. By the way, I did see a police officer earlier between 5:30 and 6 a.m. walk around the RV.
So, what was the police officer doing walking around the RV? Was he inside of the RV? Did he get out from inside of the RV and she seen him walking around? Or did she see that, but she only mentioned that she seen him walking around the RV? Or was it that she didn't actually see him get out of the RV, she just seen him walk around and nobody was actually in the RV? She's telling you that she's seen the person that the only person that she's seen around the RV was a cop. So it definitely wasn't him, because it's not like a cop would park an RV anywhere, even if they did see one.
Okay, so 911 told me that police had responded.
So they had.
Does 911 really give out that information, or do they just ask you specific questions? Maybe they would tell her that.
Responded, and we'll take it from there then. So what you're saying you heard at some point, and maybe this was something law enforcement had already been alerted to, was some kind of an announcement coming from the RV. I think you mentioned to me, did you not? It sounded recorded, a male voice, but you never saw any individual inside the RV.
No, I couldn't see it.
No, I only seen the officer go around the RV at like 5:36 in the morning, before the gunshot sounds came from the speakers of the RV.
Inside the RV, it was parked facing in an opposite direction, so I never saw the windshield. And I was listening to something that I think you guys just played on the news, and now I'm not as positive it was a male voice, but it was definitely a recorded voice.
A recorded voice, okay.
Consistent, saying, evacuate this area. This vehicle is a bomb.
Is that a horse's head?
Has a bomb, and then it started the countdown, and the last count we heard was 8 minutes, and we were in our cars driving across the river, but then it didn't go off until sometime after that.
Okay, so yeah, do you think you made it across? You went over to Nissan Stadium, maybe in the parking area there. The countdown.
We watched our building, and we were looking right at our building, and we knew we couldn't hear the countdown at that point, but we knew from the time that we left, 20 minutes had passed, and there hadn't been an explosion. So we started driving back. We came back across KBD Bridge, and we're going to turn down 2nd Avenue. And started driving back. We came back across KBD Bridge, and we're going to turn down 2nd Avenue. In fact, we made it almost down. We were on 2nd Avenue, headed towards Broadway, but not quite to Broadway, and that's when we saw the explosion.
So at that point, you thought, hey, this may have been some type of hoax, and then
not quite to Broadway.
We thought it was over, and then it happened.
Not
and then
quite
we just
here.
pulled over, and of course, by that time, everything was blocked off. And
wow. Do you know? By the way,
we're at a hotel now.
Just to ask you this, do you know were there other residents in the building, to your knowledge, that got out safely, perhaps, or?
Not in our building is a vacation rental business. We run that. Now, 2 of our family members are here. We have, and we got them out with us. They were in separate apartments, but they came with us. So the only 4 people in our building got out.
Had you not gotten out, do you think you would have been harmed?
Oh, definitely. You all been showing it on here. We're the building straight across from the explosion. The whole front of our building is blown up.
So you might have been killed. You might have been killed if not for that warning.
Yes, if not for the warning. If that person had just detonated that bomb with no warning and no gunshots, we would have been either very serious bomb with no warning and no gunshots.
So there's only
you
2.
Might have been killed. You might have been killed if not for that warning.
Yes, if not for the warning.
There's only 2 signs
if that person had just detonated
that are left intact. One sign is Dick's. Dick's is left. He's still there, hanging out. And
that bomb with no warning and no gunshots,
and immediately Hooters.
Either very seriously.
So Dick's and Hooters are the only signs that are intact. When it's talking about, it showed you.
This stage, but one of the things it could very well also be.
It's showing you Gay Street, it's showing you Church Street, and it's showing you Bank. And at the same time that it's showing you, he's telling you that it's something bigger to come.
It's a trial run for something bigger. And so I'm sure that the authorities.
You hear that? You seen that bank right there?
Former ATF special agent.
Wouldn't that be funny if that was Click himself behind another mask? It's probably not actually him, that person.
I've heard from other law enforcement sources that this could be some sort of dry run or an indication of more similar explosions to come. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 17 JFK is definitely, because that's where the bank is. Chase Bank. Again, they showed the bank. They talked about it. Because this is I'm watching this live when I recorded it at my sister's house. And he showed you the bank along with talking about a dry run for something that's bigger to come. Because Ted Williams, there's the lady, Betsy Williams was interviewed. You got Ted Williams here. You got Williams Penn building where there's a landmark. There's like a blood strip. It's like looks like a red blood strip. If it ever comes in clear. Hooters and Dick's are the only two signs that are left up to see throughout all this destruction. But the entire block is destroyed, except for those two signs.
Let me ask you this too. As someone who's familiar, obviously very familiar with 2nd Avenue, the fact that there would have been an RV parked there along that stretch on Christmas morning, not that unto itself, by itself, just sitting there, is not all that unusual, would it be? There were other vehicles parked on the road. That wouldn't have been suspicious by itself, would it?
No, it wouldn't have, and especially because it's the holidays and people know that parking's not being...
Sources that this could be some sort of dry run or an indication of more similar explosions to come. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 17 JFK is definitely, because that's where the bank is, Chase Bank.
The potential motive would be the number of conspirators and what the overall intent of it was. I mean, it's complex.
So they're showing you what's being destroyed and what's left. But what's left is what's being destroyed. You need to see what's left over in order for it to be destroyed. And what they're trying to destroy is your temple. That was the original goal, to destroy your temple. That's what Satan wants. But when you start seeing these archways, and it's reminding you of these archways, because if you're up here and you're watching Twin Towers burn, if that's still in their plan, eventually you'd be able to see it. Right from William Penn, that they keep plugging William. So Willie, I want to give William a shout out. So you can see Willie from there. If Willie can see you, then you can see Willie. So he sees basically right where the top separates and the design comes in, which means it would be hit up high, like the 59th floor of the Liberty 1, which has the 4 X's on it. 4 X's representing the male building and then the female one. keep this in mind. These buildings are the people that are going to blow them up are the same people that built them. So they got to get permission for themselves to blow up their own buildings. And they just basically what happens is it's a demolition, but it's a secret demolition. There's demolitions where they know, like the whole city will know that a building's going to go down that time, because my brother used to go down to Center City and he would watch those when he knew that a building was going to get demolished. That's how he started to look into the first 9/11. But when you know that they're going to be blown up, then you'll be there to watch, and everything will be blocked off, and everybody will be safe. When it's a secret, they're still going to block everything off. They're going to create an environment where everybody is safe because they own all of this land and all of these businesses. That way they have everybody working for them. Not everybody knows it, but they're all controlled by it. That's equivalent to a movie being shot on, say, this street over here at a certain time, day, like the entire block is going to be destroyed by a movie. But if they don't tell you it's a movie, well, then it's going to look like this. And even though nobody's dying because they're telling you the truth, but it's a movie set that you've seen. These are the actors. They're all in place. Everybody's acting their role. So they're all there in place. But when you're not told that it's a movie scene, you're going to think it's destruction. Look at it. It's destroyed. But when they attach deaths to it, that's what was always. Now there's going to be heroes involved. And it's going to be the police, the fire, the first responders. There's going to be more evidence that it's because of them that many, many lives were saved. And that could possibly be true too, because they are making sure that nobody's in the buildings when they do get destroyed.
Been enforced. I would have assumed that was some family visiting somebody, and
Gotcha.
they just parked their RV there.
So
That's definitely a JC there. That's a Jesus Christ and being blown up on Christmas Day. And she's telling you the truth again about the speaker sounds.
Exactly. Yeah, the gunshots, and I mentioned this before, and I'm not sure of this, but the gunshots were so loud. If there is a possibility, we've wondered now if they weren't a recording that came from the vehicle as well.
interesting.
We don't know that, but as we've reflected back on it, because we heard it 3 times, it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, we wonder now if we weren't listening to a recording, but we don't know. But the gunshots definitely is what woke us up. And then, because the recording I don't think would have been loud enough to wake us up.
Right.
All right. So but the explosion happened here then, right? I mean, is this not where the RV is? I mean, was? Because it looks like this building is the most destroyed. But what about over here? What's going on over here where it's like, where it almost seems like these are legs, and then falling down, upside down, angel wings.
We hadn't heard the gunshots.
Of course. By the way, do you have any
Is that Peter crucified upside down? Is that his arm? Like this way and then that way, and that's his head? Hold on. Peter's been crucified upside down.
Wake us up if
Right.
we hadn't heard the gunshots.
Of course.
Because it looks like it. Arm, head, legs.
By the way, do you have any inkling, and not something you would have necessarily noticed, but how long had the RV been there? Was it there earlier in the day? Do you think it just showed up overnight? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
See, it's still even the more you pull back, it looks more and more like a dude laying there crushed. But this is like a darker arm, and maybe his arm is burnt.
Sure, it was not. I went out yesterday morning. I went to do a little last minute shopping, and I don't remember seeing it then. I feel like I might have noticed because the street was pretty dead. I mean, there were a few workman type cars there, but I didn't notice it. No, so I don't know.
And you would, and by the way,
I didn't take a picture of it or anything.
Sure. Well, why would you? Of course. And can you give me though, kind of a
Because you're on the movie
a
set.
description of it?
Why wouldn't
An
you?
older RV, and you.
Is this like the Road Runner? Like getting away? Nah, but that looks more like a snail trying to catch the Road Runner. Looks like a couple crosses up there.
And again, since you're very familiar with that area, we know there are restaurants and clubs there. Can you think of anything there in your mind? And I'm just asking you as a citizen who lives in that area.
This could have been.
Would have been a potential target.
No, I can't. I mean, our thought was they must be after the AT&T building. That was our thought. Just because, that's where they were parked on that side of the street. They chose not, thank God, to go down to Broadway and destroy everything. So, I mean, our thought was they must have been aiming for the building that they parked close to.
Gotcha. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's certainly something I know law enforcement will be going to look at, and that's just speculation right now. But listen, ma'am, thank
This
you
is
so
Broad
much for
Street.
joining us, and I'm so glad you were safe. And
She did say thank God that they didn't go down Broad Street. Was this a substitute for what was obvious to come at Christmas in the 6th hour in Philadelphia? And consider it that? But is this still a gift? Because it's something that happened on Christmas at the 6th hour, and it was a miracle that nobody died.
But listen, who the hell cares about a building unless people were in there and they die? But with the World Trade Center, it was a demolition.
in your mind, and I'm just asking you as a citizen who lives in that area, that would have been a potential target.
No, I can't. I mean, our thought was they must be after the AT&T building. That was our thought. Just because, that's where they were parked on that side of the street. They chose not, thank God, to go down to Broadway and destroy.
Okay, so as she's saying, they thank God Broadway, they didn't go down there, and you have your archway. It's being blocked off now. You have your archway. I'm starting to lean in another direction now. Right directly as she's talking about it, it shows you the archway, shows you the top of what the William Penn building is. They keep interviewing people with the name Williams on their name, either William or Betsy Williams. Thank God they didn't go down Broadway, which is exactly where this is, Broad Street.
Everything. So I mean,
Some clubs there. Can you think of anything there in your mind, and I'm just asking you as a citizen who lives in that area, that would have been a potential target?
no, I can't.
Potential target, and then it zooms in on the arch and that.
I mean, our thought was they must be after the AT&T building. That was our thought. Just because, that's where they were parked on that side of the street. They chose not, thank God, to go down to Broadway and destroy everything. So, I mean, our thought was they must have been aiming for the building that they parked close to.
Gotcha. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
That's certainly something I know law enforcement will be going to look at, and that's just speculation right now. But listen, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. And
Okay, so apparently it blew up there.
I'm so glad you were safe, and hopefully what you've shared here and along with authorities will help in the investigation of this case. But thank you, ma'am, so much for your time.
If I could see it happen before it happens, then what I'm telling you is nobody's dying either. So you would clearly believe that. If that thing happened tomorrow, the second 9/11, on my
That time that everything was blocked off.
1364th day on YouTube since I started, that would be something else. It'd be quite a gift. Quite a gift.
Because nobody's dying.
Because all you're going to do is rebuild it. You have all the means to rebuild whatever it is you need to rebuild, whatever.
So what I'm going to take in consideration how pinpoint obvious the signs are that they're showing you and what they talk about as they're showing it to you. That's the accumulation sum of the data. When they tell you there's more to come, this is a precursor for what's bigger, and they zoom in on the word bank on the street. And then they get some guy in front of a microphone standing in front of Fox 17 because it's 17th Street. Then, because before that even happens,
celebration of the birth of the Messiah Day.
Click is celebrating the birth of the Messiah Day on Christmas. Seems very excited, very excited. And then, on top of that, he'll go ahead and just, make a quick 17-minute video. 17 minutes. Little quick 17:07. So I'm going to look at it logically. The benefits of speaking your mind and putting it out on record is that you can go back to it and refer to the similarities of what did or didn't happen. What did happen is Click gave a gift. It happened on Second in Commerce, where you exchange, where you can buy or sell. But it wasn't the second 9/11 in Philadelphia. It was a second 9/11 similarity because it's buildings being blown up. When I tell you the targets, I'm not telling you that it's airports, train stations, or any of that. I'm telling you the targets are Liberty 1 and Liberty 2, and 17th and JFK, Penn Center Building 8, Chase Bank. So they show you what's next to come, a precursor, and they show you the street bank, the bank street. The lady says that she called at 8:30 and 5 something in the morning, and it's a RV that warns people to get out of the way before it blows up in order to save your lives. That would only be 18 minutes later. But was this supposed to happen in Philly? And Time's Up on Christmas, unless it's canceled? I do put my thoughts out there, and then the truth is told to the whole crew and broken promises. Now the whole crew would be at least, there's 4, and 3 of them are between between the teeth of the bear. He has 3 ribs between his mouth. And on Christmas Day, there's scenes set up, there's people set up, and they're just waiting for the go. Some are here, some are there, some are over here waiting, some are there, and then they get the go ahead, and then this is what they chose instead of this. Because how close are the similarities? Second 9/11? No, but if I said buildings exploding by bombs, it's the same definition as second 9/11. Because second 9/11, it involves buildings exploding. Not so much airplanes riding into it, but the fact that it's buildings and then it's 3 of them and it's the same numbers as the other ones, 1 and 2, and then instead of building 7 that collapsed, it's building 8 to make it 7 into the 8th. Being in Philly, nah, it didn't happen, but it was on Christmas, and there was darkness because of the explosion, and then the cars on fire all the way up until at least 9:11 a.m. when they showed you on the newscast that they made sure they wanted to show you at 9:11ish that the smoke was still rising from the beginning of the hour, the 6th hour, because it exploded at 6:30 a.m. Or is it the truth gift? Who would know the truth? Well, the only people that would know the truth is the ones that it was canceled from. Just a theory, just another direction, because it's not like this isn't some red stream that they're not showing over here as well.
No, it wouldn't happen, especially because it's the holidays and people know that parking's not being enforced. I feel like I might have noticed Saturday morning. I went to do a little last minute shopping, and I don't remember.
Just to give you the direction that it's going, which is west. This is aiming west. Well, I don't know if it is, but with the same directional point, because the street starts here. It starts here with the circle. It doesn't start down here. That's not the same street. It starts here. At least I don't think it is. And it's giving you a direction. The direction is directly down the street is Penn Center Building 8. Directly down. The back of the $50 bill. You fold it, it has a green rectangular windows. The lady's telling you that thank goodness they didn't go all the way down to Broadway to destroy it, as they're showing you the destruction in the alleyway. That looks very similar to the roof design.
Combination, the gunshots, which really right now we can't really explain what those were all about.
Building is a vacation rental
Okay.
business. We run that. Now, 2 of our family members are here.
And then they do buy up the property, and those people that run that, the businesses around there, they get to make sure that, because they're all part of the show. This is a show. This is a live show. It's just been taken to the streets without the knowledge of anybody knowing that it's a movie being played out, because you're not seeing cameras anywhere. You're not seeing directors and movie stars. You're just seeing destruction. But it's the same type of destruction that the Hollywood movies create. When they have the roads blocked off, it's like, oh, hey, look, they're shooting a movie. And then when it's the beginning of the shooting of the movie, because there's a gift that you're getting, it's a Christmas gift.
All right, folks, God bless you. Welcome to This Is It, Before the Fire.
It's the beginning of the shooting of the movie.
I want to just first...
Because you hear shooting. You heard the shots, right? It's the beginning, the movie, the set. They're shooting the movie as we are speaking.
Extend a happy celebration of the birth of the Messiah Day. I am working on a Christmas...
See, that would have been something else, right? Knowing that nobody's dying. Knowing that it's something about Christmas. Like, remember, this is the entire world. This is the planet that we live in. I'm just one person out of the 7 billion that are on this earth, according to the numbers. And I sense that there would be a bomb going off in the 6th hour on Christmas that would be equivalent to a second 9/11 with buildings being destroyed. But that's usually, that's right at Broad Street. Thank God that they didn't go down to Broadway, all the way up to 17th Street. But on 2nd Street and Commerce is where the destruction was. And nobody died too. And that's all I kept talking about the day before. Nobody's dying in these explosions and the everything that's dominating the world news that they're telling you all these deaths are. There's no more deaths. This is just proof that it's a movie set showing you the destruction behind it. Now, I don't know how much of this is hologram images put in place because it's mixed with everything. We're not able to go down there to look. Nobody is. It's blocked off. So how things were set up, it was set up to let you know that nobody's dying. The dragon gives his power to the beast and continues to act for 42 months. Did that not already take place? Or is it taking place again for the second time? Where the same dragon is going to give another beast power to act because that beast is the one that wounded the head of the first and did live, but causes all those to worship the first beast because of the direction that it's going. If this is the direction that it's going, that there's buildings being blown up, nobody's getting injured, nobody's dying, nobody actually is getting injured, nobody's actually dying. It's their own buildings. They're going to redo their own buildings. If you're fearful of the buildings blowing up, well then don't leave your house. If you're scared to death to get blown up outside because you see it on TV, then stay inside and don't ever go out. Hide in the basement. Do whatever. If this scares you, well, remember, nobody's dying. And even if you were in an area, you would not have been able to go through here at all. The way that this organization is set up, this surveillance, gang stalking team / actors, it's everything all in one. Their communication skills and their ability to reach one another and to find out where everybody is at one point is just beyond your understanding and comprehension, because it's AI at the highest level giving you the most information at once. So you would not have been able to walk through here. Knowing that these events are set up and now they're showing you the truth that nobody's dying, they're telling you the truth that it was gunshots. It sure sounded like we don't have any evidence, but when they're saying that on TV, it's letting you know where they're the direction that to believe, which is the truth. That's what it was. She told you the truth. It was sounds over the speaker. The shooting begins. This is the shooting of the movie. It's beginning now. But was it canceled from Philadelphia? And it just happened in Nashville? Because it's